Hello and welcome to Newsjack, a brand new show that's going to enrich your very soul with a refreshing combination of blistering political insight and razor-sharp humour. Or failing that, we're just going to break into the news quiz office and nick their jokes. They go out on a Friday, we go out on a Thursday, nothing can be done. Newsjack is also unique for BBC 7, being the only show where all the cast members are still alive. So what have we learnt recently, other than that Gordon Brown is harder to get rid of than gym membership? The Iranians voted in a man with a history of Holocaust denial, though we're not ones to judge. I'm looking at you, the Northwest. Yes, the BNP got their first 2 European Parliament seats. They're going to be angry when they find out they have to sit next to loads of foreigners. For an anti-European party, the BNP have actually made the UK more European. What's more continental than having far-right MEPs? They're the pavement cafe of politics. Of course, the BNP are at pains to point out they are not racist, as in the phrase, I'm not racist, but. Nick Clegg has changed his mind about Britain's nuclear deterrent and says that under a Lib Dem government, Trident would be scrapped. Bold words there. And I'd like to add that when I become king, everyone will eat marshmallows and Welwyn Garden City shall be called Boobyville. We're going to start with a really very, very funny joke, but the BBC being what it is, I do just need to check with our lawyer.
Hello.
Hello, is this the duty lawyer?
Yes.
Sorry, have I interrupted something?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'm just clearing the Antiques Roadshow.
The Antiques Roadshow, does that need a lawyer?
No, there's a lot of old people in it speaking their minds. That's a recipe for disaster.
Right, I'm just ringing from Newsjack about this joke that you were going to have a look at.
Oh, yeah, yes, the one about the one-eyed racist.
Yes, that's it.
Yes, well, you can't say that.
What? Why not?
Well, you can't call him a racist.
But in 1998 he was convicted of violating Section 19 of the Public Order Act 1986 relating to incitement to racial hatred for publishing material including some that denied the Holocaust. He was given a 9-month prison sentence, suspended for 2 years.
That doesn't make him a racist. That was 11 years ago. A lot can change in 11 years.
You mean he might have stopped being a racist?
He might very well have stopped being a racist. If someone had murdered someone 11 years ago, would you still call him a murderer?
Yes.
All right, bad example. But look, he incited people to be racist. That doesn't mean he was racist, just that he encouraged it. And I go to football matches and go on the lads. I'm encouraging them to do sport, but that doesn't make me a sportsman. And in fact, I can't stand exercise. It's my back. Get an L5. Very painful.
That's not the same thing at all. He called the Holocaust the Holohoax.
Well, you can't call him a racist, but you can say he has a lovely way with words.
It's hardly Byron, is it? If I can't call him a racist, can I call him a fascist?
No.
But he was a member of the National Front. He set up the Young National Front students.
That doesn't make him a fascist, just a young guy who likes to party. It's fun to stay at the YNFS.
Can I call him a homophobe?
No.
But he calls homosexuals puffs.
Doesn't mean he's scared of them.
Right. Well, you've been a great help. Can we still say he's only got one eye?
No, you can't. Legally, there are 3 eyes, Nick Griffin.
Mr. Brown, we really think you should reconsider. The troops are back now. The country is crying out for an inquiry, but it really should be public.
No, this inquiry will not be a public one. My inquiries will be held in the same manner in which I meet with the Queen or go for a poo. Behind closed doors and in private.
But a public inquiry will be massively popular.
I don't care. Politics isn't a popularity contest.
I'm sorry. Mr. Brown, that's exactly what politics is, a popularity contest.
No, it isn't. If politics was a popularity contest, then there would be a competition to find out who the most popular politicians are. Look, we need to get away from all this, trying to be popular stuff. Tony always wanted to be popular, and look where that got him. He spent his last few years at number 10 with his colleagues plotting behind his back.
With the greatest respect, sir, he ended up with you plotting behind his back.
Well, maybe. But I don't care. The Iraq inquiry will be held in private. Tough decisions, difficult choices, unpopular results. That's what I'm all about.
They hate you, and you're going to lose.
That's exactly the moral victory I'm after.
The thing about the great British public is that we're always willing to give our opinion. Only 34% of us can be bothered to vote, but as long as it doesn't involve making a mark on some paper and then having to go to all the trouble of folding it, then its opinions are go-go. Which is why Newsjack sent its microphones out onto the street to hear your voice.
Vox Pop.
Oh, that Caroline Flint, lads? Cool, blimey. I wouldn't kick her out of the cabinet.
No, I didn't vote. I was making a point about all the big parties. Plus, I'm not actually Iranian, so it's really none of my business.
If it upsets them that much, they should take a leaf out of our book in this country and not get involved with elections. You see, that's the thing with politicians. If you go to the polls and vote, all it does is encourage them.
Well, that's statistics for you. You could get statistics to prove anything. You know, that's how we ended up with giraffes. They're a total myth. A total myth.
And if any of you listening at home are offended by those opinions, remember, they're not those of the BBC, they're yours. A lot of people, the Jesuits, Hitler, Whitney Houston, to name but three, believe that the future belongs to the young. So, to help them prepare for power, here's some youth-friendly news.
News bullets.
You're on the news bullet. First up, if, when and how. Those are just some of the words used by Gordon Brown, the Prime Minister.
Brown was answering questions about the cabinet reshuffle. That's when he picks which politicians do which jobs. A bit like a football manager deciding who plays in which position, but with red briefcases.
Gordon Brown thinks his cabinet are good at their jobs, but David Cameron, the leader of the opposition, that's the Conservatives, says he doesn't agree with that.
I don't agree with that.
News bullets.
News as quick as a bullet out of a gun or as fast as a bullet train when it's going fast, but not when it's stopped in a station.
In other news, there have been protests over the election results in Iran. But before we can deal with why people are protesting and what an election is, we need to know, where is Iran? News Bullet spoke to Lily Allen.
Iran? You mean Iraq, right?
News bullets.
More news now, and unemployment is at a 12-year high. We want to know what you think about this. We're not telling you that this is bad news, we're just giving you the facts. It's okay to think this is good news if you choose. We respect your decision.
News bullets.
And finally, cats are better than dogs. Here's a professor of cats, Starlaw Phillips.
Cats are better than dogs for the following reasons.
News bullets.
In the next news bullet, North Korea has launched a nuclear warhead at the United Kingdom, expected to wipe out 60% of the population. We'll have more on that, as well as getting your reactions in our full 2-minute bulletin at 5:45.
News bullet.
News bullet.
Thank you. Now for our final demonstration. Gentlemen, you're aware of the pressing need the Army has to give our soldiers the maximum amount of protection here in Afghanistan. Well, now we have a secret weapon that will make our vehicles completely invisible to the Taliban. I give you the former Minister for Defence.
Excuse me, sir. Where is he?
But he's not here. He is the secret weapon. In this canister is concentrated essence of Jeff Hoon.
Jeff who?
Precisely. Mr. Hoon recently resigned from the cabinet. Not only did no one notice he had left, but hardly anyone knew he was even in it. Now, we've sprayed a test vehicle with essence of Jeff Hoon.
And it becomes transparent?
No, it's just no one takes any notice of it. There are a few drawbacks. The expenses for the vehicle rocket to over £50,000. It's bad, but apparently within the rules. And the Jeff Hoonmobile also conks out as soon as things get rocky. However, according to our tests, there has been no record of attacks. Oh, no, I'm sorry, no record of attacks.
Sir, I have some questions.
No, I'm afraid the vehicle refuses to answer them. That will be all.
Politics gets my goat. It makes me flippin' angry. It's why this poem I wrote. Hello?
Is that Caroline Duffy be the Poet Laureate?
Maybe. Who are you?
This is the Queen. I need you to write me a poem.
I can't do it right now. I'm busy.
Listen, sunshine, look out of your window.
Huh?
Go on, what can you see?
Cracked, weathered, wheelless wheelie bin spewing its contents, burnt out cars, skeletons black and charred, crisp packets dancing on the fetid breeze, a fat, squat, feral child playing under toxic wastelands, toxic games.
Oh, you do go on a bit, don't you? No, I meant the 2 bruises in the BMW. I want my poem today, OK? Or it's trooping the colours time if you get my drift.
Fine.
Good. And word to the wise, start thinking of rhymes for Thatcher. Wink, wink.
Now, I may not read Zoo magazine or spit or whip my shirt off displaying my bleached white beer gut the second there's even a single ray of sun, but that doesn't mean I'm not a man. Why, only the other day I looked at a drill. So, when I read that men are 40% more likely to die of cancer, I was so shocked I nearly dropped a stitch. With me in the studio is men's health expert, Dr. Marcus Bradley.
Hello.
So, why are men 40% more likely to die of cancer? That's a terrifying statistic.
Well, essentially, Miles, men are no more likely to develop cancer than women, but they are less likely to act on any early signs, thus making the eventual disease much less treatable.
And this is because men are unwilling to make a fuss by going to the doctor for moles and lumps and so forth, is that right?
Yes.
And what do we need to do about this?
Nothing, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, from opinions on illness to ill-informed opinions. That's very nice. As we go back on the streets and listen to what you have to say about things.
Vox Pop.
The tube strike didn't stop me. It was only 3 stops, so I walked. Never again. 12 stitches, a twisted ankle, and I lost a shoe. I tell you, those tunnels are death traps.
80 million for a footballer? The world's gone mad. Do you know what that means? He's worth 57 times his weight in gold? Or 1.6 million times his weight in Terry's chocolate oranges?
I was surprised by the BNP getting all those votes. Who knew their supporters could spell X?
Bring back Tony Blair, I reckon. Yeah, he was bent, and yeah, he started an illegal war, and yeah, he did change the law for those with money, but you knew where you were with him.
The licence fee is great. It should cost. Please turn over more. And now, an appeal.
People in developing countries need your help, but they are not looking for handouts. Give a man a fish and he can feed himself for a day. Teach him to fish and he can feed himself and his family. In fact, he can catch so many fish that he can sell the extra fish to other families. He then starts selling so many fish he hires other people and sells more fish. After a while, he becomes the biggest employer in the area. As he expands, he needs capital, so he gains shareholders. After a while, the shareholders demand more profit for their shares. So the operation is moved to another country with cheaper labour costs and an easy tax avoidance system, causing unemployment and a bigger humanitarian disaster. To stop this happening, please send as much toxic waste as you can afford so we can kill all the fish and stop this bastard fishing.
I've just been told that we have some breaking news regarding the economy. We can go over live now to Outside.
Thank you, Miles. Unconfirmed reports suggest that in a bid to get back on the news, the BBC business editor Robert Peston has resorted to scaring off customers outside various bank branches across the UK. Newsjack was made aware of this when a customer spotted a half-naked Peston shouting abuse outside an HSBC in Didcot on Saturday.
At first he just stood at the entrance loudly tutting at everybody who came in. And when I got to the cashier to open a new bank account, he just kept leaning over my shoulder saying things like, "Ooh, are you sure?" And, "Ooh, that's a bit risky." It was most off-putting.
Later, Peston was spotted again, this time outside the Leamington Spa branch of Barclays.
I came to pay in some money into my account when this strange-looking fellow with a lady's voice started trying to sell me a mattress. He kept saying, "Don't give them your money. You're better off putting it under here.
Peston was also accused of causing chaos at Lloyd's in Runcorn.
A man in a suit claiming to work for the bank told me that the computer systems were down and that I should wait outside the branch until it opened again. And, after about an hour, there were 20 of us queuing outside, and all of a sudden, he whips out a camera, takes a photo of the queue, and then just runs off. I turned on the TV when I got back, and there's a picture of me on the news with the caption, "Run on the bank causes mayhem at Lloyd's."
Peston's whereabouts are unknown, although there are reports that he's currently in Stoke, outside a Northern Rock, dressed as a lion. Back to you, Miles.
You're listening to Newsjack, the Caroline Flint-style window dressing in the shop front of Current Affairs. Now, there's a general agreement between the parties that one way or another, deep public spending cuts are going to have to be made. With that in mind, I'm talking to our thrift expert, Susie Grubb.
Hi, Miles.
Tell me, what are your thoughts on cost-cutting in government spending?
Well, we've all got to tighten our belts in this climate, but there are some simple measures you can take to reduce your outgoings. For instance, NHS. Have you thought about making your own hats? A fascinator is a quick and easy way to do it, and you save a fortune. Also, no need for expensive corridors. Just walk straight into the room.
Susie, I think you might have misunderstood.
Now, defence. There's the obvious stuff, like don't leave things on standby. We all do it. Stereo, TV, tanks. Swap unfashionable items instead of binning them, and write down everything you spend. You can't need all those guns.
Are you just copying these out of Take a Break?
OK, now, education. Now, this is a tricky one. Look, my suggestion is stop trying to do it all. None of us can. Don't sweat the small stuff. The key is to prioritise. Just pick, say, 12 people you can actually educate. Be realistic. Focus your efforts and stop trying to spread yourself so thin.
When you say it, Susie, it sounds so bleeding obvious.
I know. Look, the main thing is have fun with it. Next week, I'm going to tell you how to make the Olympics out of a small piece of hackney and some string.
Susie there, and we at Newsjack are dealing with our own budget cuts, so Susie won't be back next week. This week, following a collapse of the cooperative dairy farmers of Britain, British dairy farmers are facing uncertain times. Determined to find out what was going on, I donned my Land Rover Discovery Mark III, an EU farm subsidy, and headed down to a field near me for this exclusive undercover report. I'm just going to speak to some farmers and masquerade as a fellow farmer. Hello, chaps. I'm a fellow farmer from the farm just over the dale.
It's pretty flat here. What dale?
Just, yonder. So this collapse of dairy farmers of Britain, that's a right nuisance, isn't it? What's your take on that as fellow farmers?
Well, that's terrible. I mean, without the co-op, we'd be getting 20p a litre.
That's a loss on every litre we sell. It's like the Wall Street crash, but with cows instead of shares.
Yes. Thank God cows are incapable of hurling themselves out of skyscrapers.
And this comes on top of all the other problems we've had in the last 10 years. Foot and mouth, BSC.
Mad cow disease. That was a shambles, wasn't it? Remember that cow they used to show you on the news that looked like it was pissed? I had a few like that.
Yes, I lost a number of cattle. Very sad time.
Embarrassing more than anything. A cow that can't even walk straight. That is basic stuff.
How many cows have you got?
Oh, a pretty large fleet.
Oh, what breed are they?
Oh, some brown ones, and some black and white ones.
Cows are great.
And so are those automatic sucking machines that demilk the cattle. They're a real boon. Stick the machine on the cow's outlet valves.
Oh, it is.
And away you go, lifesaver. No need to mess about with the bucket in a hand, and the old bucket in hand palaver. Oh, nightmare. If I ever see another bucket or another hand again, it will be too soon. Anyway, great to talk to you. I'm off to shoot some badgers.
You can't shoot badgers, they're a protected species.
Ah.
Well, clay badgers. Never tried underground clay badger shooting? Never lived. Here's some more poorly informed opinion in the shape of Vox Pops.
I don't understand Shahid Malik buying a big plasma TV. Scandalous, man. What an idiot. He should have got a projector. They're wicked.
I'm glad that the England's women cricket team are doing well. I find women much more productive around the house when they feel that they're winning.
Honestly, these people couldn't run a piss up in a... Oh, sorry. Am I allowed to say that? Is that okay? Really? You're allowed to say piss on the BBC? In that case, I might just say piss. Piss.
I reckon I know why Gordon Ramsay's so angry. It's because even though he's got this alpha male persona, as a cook, he's basically got a girl's job.
I saw Bill Oddie once. He was fly-tipping an old sofa in this forest. I thought he's probably doing that so some birds can nest there. But then he set fire to it and just ran off.
Newsjack will return after these brief messages.
Hi, Jen, you okay?
No, I'm not, Susie. It's my bowels. They're all bloated. Like a handbag full of undigested food and wind.
Oh, it sounds like your digestive transit, Jen.
I thought it might be, Susie, when I started bloating, and I thought it might be my digestive transit.
Yeah. Have you tried eating loads and loads of yoghurt, Jen?
I have, Susie. I've been eating yoghurt almost constantly for 14 days. Frankly, they're just going straight through me now. Yoghurt in, yoghurt out. I just don't understand it, Susie. I've had my bowels since I was born, and I never had a problem with bloating or my digestive transit. But in the last year or so, it's all I can think about.
That's because you don't exist, Jen.
How do you mean, Susie?
I mean, you're a construct of the advertising industry. 2 coke-addled art school failures came up with you by scraping the bottom of an already dangerously thin barrel.
Oh, typical men.
See? That's exactly what an advertising executive would make you say. They thrive on tiresome gender stereotypes, like a maggot thrives on a squashed roadside badger.
So... is that why I'm suddenly worrying about my non-geometric pubic hair?
Yes. And why you're eating 5 times as much cereal in the mistaken belief that it's somehow slimming.
Is it not slimming then, Susie?
Well, it is, Jen, in the same way that not eating at all is slimming. You know those adverts for soft cheese that are so very funny?
Yes, they are funny, Susie. They're exactly what it's like being a girl.
But if you think about them for even 1 second, though...
Oh, you're right, Susie. They really aren't funny at all. In fact, they make me want to stab myself through the heart with a Kinder Bueno.
That's advertising for you, Jen. They regard us with utter contempt. That's why they steal so many ideas from YouTube. They think we're too dumb to notice.
And they're still ripping off Bridget Jones's diary, even though that was 13 years ago.
I know, it's VVV lazy. They really are arrogant, complacent, overpaid, thieving, dead-eyed, soulless hacks.
So, my digestive transit problems?
Utter balls, Jen.
Oh, that's a relief, Susie.
Certainly is, Jen.
Do you fancy a yoghurt?
No.
Topical comedy is nothing new and has been with us ever since Caveman Ugg pointed at Caveman Arg, did a silly impression of a fat man wiggling his bottom and smugly laughed. The BBC archives don't go back quite that far. Even Nicholas Parsons is only late 16th century. But with 2009 marking the 80th anniversary of the Wall Street crash, we thought we'd have a listen at how the BBC Home Service's premier topical quiz show, The Friendly News Interrogation, covered that particular story.
News interrogation, and we start this week with a cutting from the notices section of the Times.
Any donations gratefully received, and received has been spelt I-E rather than E-I.
Very amusing. On with the quiz. Mr. Harold, what happened in America this week?
The Wall Street crash.
Correct. 2 points. Now, if any panellist wishes to banter on this issue, please raise your hand. Mr. Simpkins, political cartoonist for the Times, you've raised your hand.
Were I to draw a satirical cartoon of this particular incident, I would depict the American economy as a giant bear with the word economy written on it, walking across a rather tired-looking rope bridge emblazoned with the words Wall Street, with certain visual clues to inform the viewer that said rope bridge is soon to snap under the sheer weight of the bear.
Many thanks, Mr. Simpkins.
You're very welcome.
I say, what follows the Wall Street crash? The Wall Street bang, the Wall Street wallop.
It's a very witty observation, Mr. Jones, but I'm deducting a point for your failure to raise your hand prior to the delivery of your quiz. Of course, we are having a great deal of fun at the expense of our American cousins, but don't worry at home. It could never happen here. Now, before the next question, I shall read one of these pre-prepared japes written for me by the writer chappies. I say, what is the worst thing about Black Tuesday?
And I think we'll leave it there.
It's lovely to meet you, yes. And what do you do?
I am a sales analyst, Your Royal Highness.
Excellent, yes. It's very good. I have taken part in a couple of regattas myself. Keep up the good work. Nice to meet you. What do you do?
I'm an accountant.
Oh, still a lot of numbers in that?
Yes.
And which numbers do you work with mostly?
200, 5, 72. Just off the top of my head, but all sorts, really.
We Windsors normally work with 1.
Very good, Your Majesty.
Yes, thank you. Nice to meet you. And what do you do?
I'm a modern architect.
Excellent, yes. And what do you do?
I work in cleaning.
Excellent. You wouldn't mind, would you, sorting out that mess? You might need a mop.
And now, some corrections.
In a recent edition of Newsjack, we inadvertently said that the new cabinet was a collection of unknowns and political time servers which Gordon Brown has no control over. We should, of course, have said a collection of unknowns and political time servers over which Gordon Brown has no control. So, apologies to the Education Secretary for that one.
Last week, we said we had detected the first green shoots of economic recovery. We now realise this was actually just a cress mayonnaise sandwich left in the Newsjack fridge.
Last week's stories about IRAN and IRAQ were obviously meant to be about Iran and Iraq. The idea that there's over 17 alphabetically named factions of the IRA is, of course, nonsense.
Newsjack is in trouble for using the names of British counties as euphemisms. For this, we are deeply sorry.
A bit of a goof on last week's show. Prime Minister Gordon Brown is not well known for the catchphrase, "Who the boss? I'm the boss." It is, of course, say what, cheese face. Good night.
Newsjack featured Miles Jupp with Philip Fox, Lewis Macleod, Andi Osho and Jess Robinson. A full list of writers is available at bbc.co.uk/Radio 7. Newsjack was produced by Talusha Galani and Sam Michel.